right, I am here with my good buddy ZombiesGoNomb from his lovely studio that really puts mine to shame because my studio's gone. It's been gone for a long time now.
It makes me sad.
Your studio reminds me of my studio, man.
I miss your old studio, man. I used to love looking at your background.
I know. I love going and putting something random in the background to see if anybody would notice it and be like,
"Yep,
is that a new figure?" You know.
It's like, what the hell is that? Where
did you change up the game boxes behind you?
See, for me, what I'll do is I'll just randomly swap where two things are and just wait for someone to notice.
There you go. I feel like the White Ranger has moved.
No, I actually did that yesterday. I actually moved two of my droids around.
Oh, really?
I got my R unit back here. It's usually all up there next to the White Ranger, and my BB unit is by the White Ranger. So we're just gonna swap that up, see if anybody notices today. It's always fun when they do. Like I always get a chuckle out of that when they do. It's like, that's the one with ADHD. That's the one that's just like me. I found the kindred spirit in the room.
You passed the test, son. So I've got you up super bright and early and awake. So for people that know you, if you sound lower energy than usual, that's probably why.
Well, that and I do have a quote unquote streamer persona. Like,
right.
This is my natural voice. This is my natural talking voice, and this always trips people out when they hear this voice, because usually see, "Hi everyone, I'm ZombiesGoNomb." You know, it's got that higher, like it's the theater kid. It's the projection voice. Just because I have a couple reasons why I do that. One, it makes it a little bit easier to hear. It makes me sound more energetic than I actually am. Mm-hmm. When I get animated enough, it still happens. Once I get excited, it's happening anyway. But I used to get made fun of a lot for this voice, so I hid it for a very long time. And now I only bring it out when I'm trying to be dramatic or ASMR-y kind of stuff like that. You know the weird stuff.
Yeah. No, and the thing about streamer persona is that you're in such a long haul when you do streaming. You kind of have to not necessarily like amp up, like you have to take it up a level just to keep your own energy level up so that you're not like falling on your face.
Yep, that's exactly it.
That's what's especially taxing about the really long late night ones that run longer than you usually go, and you're like, it's been 8 hours and I'm still going, but we're gonna do it somehow.
I'm gonna beat this boss, I swear.
Yes.
For the love of God. I've had those days. Where I'm just like, I've been amped up the entire way through. By the end of it, I've fought the same thing over and over, or I've dealt with the same thing over and over, or I'm trying to get to this one spot in the story because the game's just like, you're right there. You're right to the ending you want.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we're going to make that happen like an hour later. It's going to happen another hour later, but you're going to still play it because you don't want to be left on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. You're right. I'm not going to be left on a cliffhanger. Damn it.
The amount of times I've done that for an RPG, man. We don't play as many RPGs as we used to. They will keep me up at night, literally.
Well, my favorite example of that when I was streaming, which still said that I'm not, but we're not going to talk about that.
I'm back to streaming.
My favorite example of that was the final true boss of Persona 4. I was so underleveled for that boss, and went in and was like, you know, I was kind of getting creamed by the jobbers around in the dungeon, and I got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna skip. I'm gonna run past everybody. That was a really bad plan.
Regret. Regret was had.
So I get to Izanami, and yeah, I'm stuck there for 3.5 hours of just trying, and eventually I figured out that if I just keep Chie alive and I keep buffing Chie, that she will just rip through Izanami, so everyone else dies. It's just me and Chie, and we're just figuring it out.
Jeez. I had one of those with Pokemon. I was playing Pokemon, and you gotta go fight all like the you gotta go fight all the beasts for the Urban Mystica, and you get to Great Tusk. And
that one's rough.
It was. It's a drastic power bump. It's like a level 60 mon out of nowhere, and I've got nothing but level 30s.
Yeah,
the game said
I went into it with 40s, and it was still a struggle bus. I was like, holy crap.
The game told me I could do this in any order I wanted, so I was damn determined. I beat this. I cheese stratted this because I fought this thing for like 2 hours. Yeah. But I cheese stratted this thing by they gave you a level 5 Pikachu with the flying terror typing at the start of the game. They if you bought the game on launch day, you got the level 5 terror type flying terror type Pikachu. I was like, okay, I got you. I wound up throwing that into my party, threw that as my first Pokemon, just to die. Just because I knew when it hit me, because I learned its typing wasn't ground type. When it hit me, it was going to paralyze. It was going to paralyze. So I let it paralyze this sucker and let it kill the rest of my party while I'm doing as much damage as I can. So I get all the way down to Houndstone and use Last Respects, which says for every mon that's dead, it deals massive damage.
Yep.
Ghost Terror type the Houndstone for added stab damage after paralyzing it with a level 5 Pikachu, because I sat there forever I kept swapping mons out, trying to figure out how to deal with this thing. Yeah. How to deal with this thing, and that was it. That was how we did it. I threw a Pikachu on my team. Level 5 was like, you're going to die, buddy, but you will not die in vain. Let's go. It worked. He paralyzed it, and I got it. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, at least half its speed. See if it can waste a turn, something.
Yep. Just burning every resource I can to kill that thing, and I did it. I was very proud of me at the end.
Yeah, man. Oh man, I played Violet, so you know mine was the steel Iron type one, and I had nothing for a steel type. It was a huge gap in my coverage. I didn't have fire, I didn't have fighting, I didn't have ground. I was like, what am I gonna do? And I just threw bodies at it and lucked out at the end. Meowscardo was able to luck it out, but it was like, I've got nothing for this dude. What the heck?
Man, fighting that allowed me to power level so much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So much stuff leveled during that.
Yeah, that's one of those moments where like you start making your own story. It's like, I have to beat this thing no matter what. I'm not going anywhere else. I know I have the rest of the map open to myself. I'm not going anywhere. This thing's going down, man.
There's obviously other parts of the story I probably should be doing right now, considering how hard I'm getting my ass kicked. But damn it, they said I could do it whenever I want to, and I want to fight a giant ancient elephant. We're doing this.
It's about the principle of the thing.
I have a dog to save, because that was for Arvin's story. That was my whole thing. I hated Arvin at the start, and then they drag you in with the dog story. Yeah, I was like, No, we're saving the pupper. We are saving the dog. This is the best boy. I'm going to help my boy out by saving his dog. Like my whole opinion of the entire game turned around with Arvin's story. We're saving a dog. I could be all about saving a dog. And I didn't care about anything else. I skipped everything else for as long as I could to complete his story first.
And then, you know, the mobility upgrades you get with the mount is just kind of the sprinkles on top. Like, oh, thank you also. But we also saved a dog.
We saved a dog.
Okay.
By the end of that, I was so overpowered that everything else I hadn't done by that point, I steamrolled through. Like, I walked through everything else because I power leveled trying to save a damn dog. Walking in like a damn JoJo character, buffed out as all mess.
Yeah. So, for people who don't know you, or maybe they do know you, but they, you know, don't know the story of ZombiesGoNomb, or, you know, maybe they've only just recently found your channel, they haven't had a, you know, introduction to you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. No, I'm not gonna let anybody know who I am. But no, yes.
No.
Can't let anybody know me.
My name is nothing.
My name is nothing. I do not exist. I am a figment of your overactive imagination. No, okay. So, my name is ZombiesGoNomb, and I am your coffee-fueled gingerbread undead. I am a live streamer, mostly on YouTube, but now, as of like yesterday, also on Twitch. Same time.
You twitching it?
I'm twitching it, you know, just
Zombies twitch. They do it all the time.
All the time. I'm basically a variety streamer. I'm mostly known for my horror gaming, as well as indie titles and random Nintendo titles, and Monster Hunter. Lots of Monster Hunter. I used to be known pretty heavily for Splatoon, but taking hiatus from that for right now. But yeah, so that's who I am. I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I'm filled with coffee all the time. I'm very excitable. I have 3 birds that like to pop up on stream every now and again, and
you can probably hear them right now.
Yeah, that's probably Soleil that y'all are hearing right back there. That sounds like Soleil. Yeah, that's Soleil. That's one of the parakeets. I'm a nerd that rants and rambles a lot, and we are very much about community and mental positivity. Basically, we all. I may not be able to make your day any better, but I can definitely make it suck a little less. That's one of the mantras around here. It's like if I get you to laugh, then I've done my job for the day.
Your day's not going to get worse watching a ZombiesGoNomb stream. It's just not going to happen.
Exactly. It's not going to get any worse. It might not get better, but it ain't going to get any worse. I can promise you that one.
Yeah, you have a very open and friendly community. You know, that was one of my favorite things when I found your channel, and, you know, rated you like 3 times in a week, you know, when I was doing the streaming thing, was just how happy and open everybody in your community was. Like, oh, hey, what's going on, man?
We got new peeps.
Yeah. And, you know, that doesn't always happen in communities. There's some YouTube, you know, live streamer communities that are just like, what are you doing here? Or, you know,
they may not say anything to you at all when you go in on the raid. It's like,
so
you might not even get that. You might not even get the subs. Just like they'll look over, they'll give it the eye, back to the game. Like, oh, okay.
And the people in the chat are like, what are you guys doing here? You know,
it's like, why are you invading our quiet spot? Why are you loud and obnoxious over here? I'm like, my bad.
This
my
is
bad,
a chamber
fam.
of reflection.
I've had that happen a couple times where, like, I've had people get irritated because I got raided, and I was like, my bad. It's like I just kind of like showed up. I was just trying to bring you some support, and they're just like, why are there so many people here now? I don't like this. I'm like, Isn't that kind of the objective of the live stream, is to get up to as many people as you can?
Number go up good. Yeah.
It's like, if you don't want that dopamine hit, there is a private button. You can hit that. People can't find you that way.
Yeah, take it nice and chill. Private.
Right? That person was bigger than me too. Like they had a lot more people than I did. We showed up in raid and they're like, "What are y'all doing here?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, just saying hi, man. You know,
saying hi, making friends. I don't know, doing the social part of social media."
Yeah, it's like you're playing a spooky game. Thought you wanted more people. Play a spooky game, man. Okay, whatever. I'll go take a nap now.
So, what made you want to make a YouTube channel? You know, why? Obviously, you have an appreciation for games, but was there like an aha moment where you're like, oh man, I've been watching these guys for years, or oh man, I've been playing Monster Hunter for years and I want to share, you know, what I, you know, love about it, you know, things like that. What made you want to get started with YouTube and all that?
Okay, so this is like a 3-parter, man.
Yeah. I'll add another layer. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, legitimately, this is I have like a 3-parter answer for this one, because that's it's a long story, but I've said it enough times where I can kind of condense it.
Okay.
Okay. So, as far as content creation in general is concerned, I used to go to anime conventions all the time. And I was someone who helped run one of our local conventions.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, it was a blast.
And frustrating.
Yeah, I was in charge of the dealer's room. You want to talk about some frustration, man? That was some frustration.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
As well as I ran a booth myself while there as well.
Oh God, how hair pulling.
Shockingly, it was actually a lot of fun doing that, because like for me being a vendor, it was always like putting on a show. Right, because I would be like, I was very excited and boisterous, like what the streaming persona you see. That's what I had at my booth. I was always welcoming people in, wanting to know what people liked, and so on and so forth, so I could find the perfect thing. Even if it wasn't even at my booth, I'd take people to other booths if I saw it somewhere else, for things that they wanted.
Yeah, that's just customer service right there. Yeah,
it was exciting. It was fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was also doing panels and shows. During this, I was Vocaloid performer. I performed and sung as Kaito. And then I would run the Pokemon panel and would get up on stage and talk about weird theories and weird things that the fandom would do in Pokemon and this, that, and the other. We literally had a late night panel for Pokemon, a after dark panel for Pokemon, where I just went through and like basically chastised the fandom for all the weird stuff that they do.
Yeah,
it was hilarious. There was never any seating left for any of my panels. It was standing room only. I was very well known down around in our area for the 3 big cons around here. And one day, my grandfather showed up to one of these events, which I did not know he was going to do. I didn't know anyone was performing. And my grandfather was this very, like, set in his ways, very straight-laced, very much not a nerd. The extent of his nerd was he enjoyed the movies Jurassic Park and Star Wars, and that was it.
Yeah, that was the starter kit right there.
And that was as far as he went as a nerd. He was ex-military, currently government. So yeah, like this sternest of stern men. And he shows up, and I'm decked out in full like costume, makeup, the works. And just being loud, obnoxious, and boisterous on stage. When I see him, when I get off stage, I turn paler than I've ever turned before. Just like all the color's gone from my skin, whiter than a sheet of paper, freaking out. Which was fitting. I was cosplayed as a human version of a ghost Pokemon. That worked out perfectly. I really looked on point that day.
I mean, you should have showed up earlier. You would have been even more on point. Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, like, he shows up, and I'm panicking, and he He's like, I need to talk to you, boy. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to hear.
I did not want to hear that one. And I walk with him, and he's looking me up and down. You can tell he's judged me very hard for my fashion choices that day. And he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he's like, boy, I have never seen anything like that in my life. I'm like, oh, I bet you haven't. And he's like, you had people laughing this whole day. There are people standing in this room. There's nowhere for anyone to sit. I had nowhere to sit. It's like, oh, he's mad he couldn't sit anywhere. No.
How could you not have them have enough chairs?
How did I not have a VIP section? What did I do wrong? He's like, you were born to do this, and like that's like a slap to the face. Like, what? I'm a what now? He's like, you were born to do this. You had people laughing forever. I laughed. Didn't understand a damn word of it, but I laughed at it. It was hilarious, son. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's how you know it's working, when someone who doesn't even know what you're talking about is laughing.
Doesn't know the material. This is a Pokemon panel, man.
Yeah.
Like, it has no idea what I'm talking about. Thought it was hilarious. He's like, you were born to entertain people, so find a job doing that. I don't care what you do, just figure that out. I was like, go, okay, we can do that. I can be about that life. Fast forward a few years later, I'm hanging out with friends. I'm hanging out with friends. Usually every week on the weekend, I'm staying at a friend's house. This is in my 20s, and I'm playing horror games for my friends because they can't play horror games, but they want to watch the horror games. They want the story. They can't handle the anxiety of being in the driver's seat.
And they need to be able to bring up their blankets or pillow or whatever to cover their face when it gets bad. Yeah.
Yep. And I was actually kind of new to horror games, but I loved horror in general. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I can do that. Excuse my language if I can't do that.
No, it's fine.
I didn't think about that. I was like, we can do that. And I sit there to play the horror games, and my way of dealing with things that either scare me or when I think other people are scared is comedy. So I'm sitting here and I'm cracking jokes left and right. And they're laughing, they're enjoying it, and like they're having a blast with this. During this time frame, a side note, this is going to add to this in a minute. I was actually going through a nasty divorce. This is going to be important. It's going to add to this in a minute. Not the person themselves, but like it ties off to something in a second.
Right.
But we're hanging out. I'm playing the games for them, and this is right before the era of horror gaming on YouTube kicks off. This is before PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jack, all of them. This is leading into that time frame. Like it's like they have all started, but most of them have not been discovered yet. PewDiePie was still doing like Call of Duty at the time. So that should tell you.
That Call of Duty.
Yeah. So I'm at their house. I'm playing the games for them. We're hanging out. And so this continues on for about a year. After that, everybody moves. Everybody moves same time, and we're scattered to the wind. And I can't play games for them anymore because none of them live in the area. Several of them move states away, and this, that, and the other. And I'm gearing up to move again myself. So I'm like, well, shit, what do I do? And at this time, I'm hyper depressed. I'm like mega levels of depressed. Well,
your friend group moved away. That'll definitely do it. And then, all the other things you go through.
Friend group moved away. I was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
And I was dealing a lot with doctors because I have a bad leg. I'm classified as handicapped. My leg is really bad off due to CRPS, which is complex regional pain syndrome. Which basically lights my leg up like a Christmas tree with pain.
Jeez.
And the flare-ups were really, really, really bad back then. Before I had any medication for it, before we knew anything we could do about it. So the only thing I could do was sit in my bathtub every night with a ton of Epsom salt and just pray that it helped a little.
Yeah. Just take some of the edge off, please.
Yep. So I'm sitting there depressed and sad and just not okay. And I'm sitting there, it's like one of the early smartphone eras where they first put YouTube on smartphones. I'm sitting here watching YouTube on my phone, just wallowing in my own sadness at the time and a bunch of Epsom salt. And this is where I discover both Markiplier and Jacksepticeye.
Mm-hmm.
And I am the saddest I have ever been. But I watched 2 videos that just make me die laughing. Like, I am just laughing my ass off. And I have a sudden realization. I'm laughing.
Yeah.
I haven't laughed in months. I'm laughing now.
You're like the saddest probably that you've ever been at that point. You know, the most alone that you've probably ever been at that point.
Yep.
And somehow you're laughing.
And
yeah, I get that.
And I had that, and it was like an epiphany. A light bulb went off. I was like, "That's it.
There it is.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I want to do that. I want to make people laugh when they're at their lowest point.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be that guy that's there for that random dude sitting in a bathtub at 4 o'clock in the morning who thinks nothing can be okay.
Yep.
I want to be that guy that makes that okay. I want to be the guy that brings that one fleeting moment back to that person. So I got a hold of all my friends. I was like, "Yo, hey guys, I'm tired of not playing games for you guys. So I found a way we can do that." And I discovered Twitch.
There you go.
So I went streaming on Twitch, and I was streaming to like 4 or 5 of my friends. And then I moved over to YouTube because I didn't like the fact that Twitch had banned a list of banned games. And I only really cared about one of them because some of those games, they absolutely deserve to be banned from a platform like that.
Sorry, one second. When you started on Twitch, had they started streaming on YouTube yet? Because there was a while where they didn't have streaming on YouTube.
Yes, they had. Because like this is the thing I decided I wanted to do, but it still took time to do. I was actually on Twitch for several years.
Right.
It's kind of a blur because I wasn't doing it every day. Like I'm on Twitch like maybe once a month, if that, at this time frame. So
one of those when you could find time type things. Yeah,
it's one of those like it's kind of like getting a D&D session together. You're like you're praying, you get everybody together, sit down and watch it. I wasn't going live to
we don't have the healer.
Yeah, I wasn't going live to random people. I was going live specifically to people I knew. That was right. If they weren't there, I didn't care who else showed up. I didn't want to do it.
There you go. Yeah, I get that.
So I was doing that just randomly and sporadically. And we get random people to pop in. I made a few friends during that time frame. Mm-hmm. But eventually they announced there were games that were banned, and this was during the time like Yandere Simulator, which was a game that was on my list of stuff to play. This is before we found out the creator was absolutely just
batshit crazy. Yeah.
We just like to call that a fuck nugget. That's what that was. Like, yep, nope, can't do that one.
Yep.
So there was that. And I was like, well, that game's on my list of shit to play, and that one's not that bad. So if that's what's banned, I don't know what else they're going to ban. So I'm going to YouTube. I went to YouTube. I played a few games for a few friends here and there. I posted a couple videos. My very first thing on the channel ever was a video of Benny and the Ink Machine. That was my first thing on the channel.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. It was around that time I discovered what my my quote-unquote catchphrase was going to be, which was the "I'm ZombiesGoNomb, your coffee fueled gingerbread undead." Came up with that at 3 a.m. in the morning in my car just driving home one day.
And it works, man. That's
I love it. I'm very proud of that. I will admit I'm very proud of that one. where it became a thing that I started doing all the time, where I decided to take streaming seriously, where I was going to be doing it at least 4 nights a week, was when I played Doki Doki Literature Club.
That'll do it. Yeah.
I had been suggested this game by a friend of mine, and I was like, okay, cool, I want to play it. Another friend of mine said he can't be there because the content was too rough in it. I'm looking at this. I went into this game completely blind. I was like, okay, like, I get it. It's a dating sim. A lot of dating sims have some weird, messed up stuff. I get that. But there's no way it's that bad. I've seen the dating sims you enjoy. There's no way it's that bad. It's like, don't give me this. But they're like, trust me, I can't show up for it. I was like, whatever, okay. And I started to play it, and none of my friends show up. None of them. Not a single one. And I'm about to cut this stuff off. But then random people start showing up.
Yeah.
It's not just like it starts off like maybe 1 or 2, and then it's like 5, and then it's like 10, and then it's like 20. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm just playing a dating sim.
It's one of those, like, you've got an audience, so it's kind of like,
I can't just cut it off now.
Yeah, I'll just keep it going. Why not?
I was like, I'll keep going because there's people still talking to me, and I had the mantra of I was going to make people's day better. Well, these are people here that may need that today, so I just kept going. And I went for about an hour and a half, and I was like, okay, so I want to come back to this tomorrow. We're going to start off right where we left off, and so on and so forth. A lot of people are chomping at the bit about the next day. I have no idea why. Boy, did I figure out why.
Oh, you found out real fast, because that's about the time things start happening.
About 30 minutes into that stream is where I hit the sudden gut punch twist.
Yeah.
Not gonna ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Go play that game. It's available on everything now. Go play that game. Not sponsored, but go play Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, it's even on Switch.
Yep, I own a Switch copy. I own a physical for Switch. I own the physical collector's edition for the Switch. But like that, for the game gut punched me. That shocked me to my core. Just go check out the old reaction for that. That was like, Lord help me. That was something. But that's what started my audience up. People were showing up to see that, and I would voice characters as well as I could. And after that, I went from literally 20 subscribers to about 150 in about a 2-day time frame.
And you got that first dopamine hit.
And I was like, well, it wasn't even that. I had panic. I was panicked. I was like, crap. I now have an obligation.
Yeah,
that was it. I have an obligation. I have more people I have to play games for now, and I can't just do this once a month. Okay, so we're doing this regularly now, and that was kind of how it took off. That's where it started, and it eventually became my job. We kept growing. I kept learning new tricks to find different ways to entertain people. I've played all sorts of different games, and that's kind of where it started. I went from entertaining people at cons to being a sad, depressed boy in a bathtub to having a revelation while being a sad, depressed boy in a bathtub of wanting to do this to finding how to do it about halfway through. About 2 years into streaming regularly, I've finally put 2 and 2 together that this is how I can do this. Because I had a viewer that came to me. Now I've had several viewers that have come to me throughout the years and tell me how I've quote unquote saved them in some form or fashion. But the one that sticks with me the most, I'm not going to mention any names. The one that sticks with me the most is a teenager that showed up very, very early in my streaming career. And he would just hang out. He would just love to hang out. And I welcomed him with open arms. He was a cool dude. Just, sit, chill, have some coffee, just hang out, play games. And he would show up.
That's what we do.
Yeah. And he would show up almost nightly. And one day I got like a $5 donation, and he told me, he's like, when I get my first paycheck, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to donate to you. And I was like, well, to me that was,
bro.
to me that was like, hearing that was a big deal. But I was like, dude, no, don't worry about that. Don't do any of that. It's like, you keep that, you use that for yourself. He's like, no, trust me, there's a reason, and it's a big deal. I'm like, okay, no, you know, like, and I was like, do whatever makes you happy, man. And about a month later, because he disappeared off the grid for a little while. About a month later, he shows up. The way he announces he's here is he donates $15 to me, which is like a huge deal to me.
Yeah.
That was like, back then, that was a big donation. And I was ecstatic, and I was excited to see him. And he's like, I'm so proud. I earned my first real paycheck, and and he's going on. I'm hyped for him now.
Right.
It's like, and he starts showing up again pretty regularly, and he randomly starts donating like on and off, and then he disappears for a little while. And he's gone for about a year. And he shows up on stream once, and then he messages me on Twitter right after stream ends. And he's like, yo, man, I gotta talk to you for a minute. I'm like, okay, what's up? Let's talk. And he was like, I want to thank you.
For what?
I was like, for what? What do you mean? And he's like, okay, so like when I met you, man, I was in a gang. I was selling drugs when I met you, man. I was doing all this, that, and the other, and it wasn't a good time. I was in a really rough way. Like when I was first watching you, I was out sitting out in a corner waiting for someone else to sell shit too. I was like, fuck. What? Okay. And he's like, and I saw you, and you have this audience, and everyone's warm and inviting, and I showed up and immediately got to feel like home.
Yeah, you're just immediately accepted by your audience, by anybody. It's just like, hey, what's going on? Like we talked about.
Yeah. And he's like, and I see that you're able to make this work somehow, and you're doing all this, that, and the other. And I decided I wanted that.
Yeah.
I want that. I want to do that. I want to make people have a better day.
Right.
And he's like, so I quit, I moved, and I got a job. And he got a job working at an ice cream parlor, and like that was like his entire cat jam. He's like, I get to watch people smile by eating my ice cream. And he's like, I get to do this, that, and the other. And he was so proud of himself, and he attributed being that proud, and he attributed that change in his life to me. And that was one of the most ground-shaking events of my entire career on here. Like, I'm sitting here from the other end of a screen just typing to this dude just bawling.
What was that kind of like a full circle moment for you? Like, you know, YouTube got me out of my funk.
Yep.
You know, I got this guy out of his funk. You know,
that was exactly it. I had that, and I had another instance that was similar where I saved somebody from a dark outcome and had no idea for 2 years until they came and told me. And that just that was it. That was this is permanent. This is, I can't not do this. This is when the promise of making people's day suck a little less became a thing.
Because then it's not just like, oh, I helped these people, but I might help them in the future when things start to slide the other way, and I can help other people. You know, and, like not just them. It could be somebody else someday that gets stuck in a corner, and you know they need someone to be like, come on, have a muffin and some coffee.
Grab yourself a cup of coffee, get yourself a delicious muffin, and just sit down and hang out for a bit.
Exactly.
Let's see, but it is a double-edged sword when it comes to that, because there are days where I have sacrificed a bit more than I probably should have, usually with my health. Where I'm like, I have an obligation. I made a promise to these people. I will be there. I will be there today. I will be up and running. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. It doesn't matter if I'm tired. It doesn't matter if I forgot to eat. It doesn't matter if I'm in more pain than I've ever been in before. I have to go live today. I have to, and that's not always the healthiest mindset. But I can admit that I've done that. I've gone live just because I know someone needs me that day.
Yeah, and sometimes that desperation comes through in the stream where you're like, come on, I gotta make a connection on a joke. Come on.
Yep, I gotta get that, man. That's one of the worst feelings while live streaming is you never know if the joke lands, because they're not on your headset, they're not on camera. It's like I have so many times like silence. I'm not funny. That joke wasn't funny. The amount of times I have to laugh at my own joke because I have no idea if that shit landed. It's the reason why I love doing collabs with people. It's not just because I get to play with somebody. No, it's because I know I get to hear them laugh at the stupid shit I say, which validates the fact that I am at least a little funny. It's like I literally, the other night playing the Monster Hunter beta, I had a friend on headset with me who joined in like halfway through the stream, and somebody else in the chat was talking about how they'd been led on by a guy and they had a bad time with a guy. And I was like, man, you just gotta kick him in the willy. And like and that was it. I didn't think twice about that. That's just common vernacular for me. And
that by the way is how a ZombiesGoNomb stream goes. It's like, we gotta kick him in the wiener, man.
You gotta kick him in the willy, kick him in the PP, man. I swear it'll be all right, man. You that dude's a dick. Kick him in the PP. Whack. Yeah, something like that. And like I said, that didn't even think twice about it. Didn't bat an eyelash at it, because like that's part of my normal everyday. Yeah. And person in my head said, man, she's dying. Completely like from complete silence to just dying. I'm like, man, these are the moments I live for, is when I know someone actually thought what I said was funny. Tell me if that was an accident. Seems like when I'm being the most serious, because I was very serious in that moment, I'm being the most serious when people laugh the most.
Yep. Yeah, because you take Monster Hunter very seriously. It's one of your favorites. So,
I do. I say the most unhinged shit while playing it.
I just imagine you're in Splatoon / MOBA mode, where you're just like, all right, let's do it. Let's get the thing. Also, kick him in their willy.
My best one was grabbing you have all these different weapons in Monster Hunter, and I was using a hammer one time. I got behind this big ass dragon, got at crotch level, and I just charged up hammers like, smack him in the PP. Wow.
Get him.
It's like I know all the serious, like I know all the vernacular for Monster Hunter. I use none of it.
Yeah,
it's like I use none of it. Like I'm serious, but I do not. I am the most unserious sounding serious person playing Monster Hunter. I know all the strats, and I'm telling people how to position and how to beat the hell out of these things. But I'm not talking the way you normally would. Like I'm not like more DPS, more DPS, more DPS. No, smack his PP, smack. Cap them kneecaps, go for it.
Get the Squiggleosaurus, man.
I became known as the Kezu guy for the longest time. Which just look that up real quick. Just pull that up. You're gonna want to put that on whatever part of the video that this is for. Just look up the monster, the Kezu. Khezu. Look up the Kezu.
Okay.
Do it right now.
We'll put it up. We'll put it up on the edit. Yeah.
I became known as the Kezu guy for a long time because it seems like this super, like, it's super pale, it's white, it has no eyes, and it's got this, it's just a neck with teeth, basically. It's like and the neck fucking stretches out, and it's got like this really awkward skin texture. It looks like a walking pee-pee. It looks like a walking pee-pee. And it's also a horror monster. Like, it shows up, it has no battle music, it's silent.
Oh shit.
Am I a Kezu?
No, you're not a Kezu, hon. I'm currently doing recording. No, you're not at all a Kezu. What the hell?
No, because I came in here and all I hear was that conversation, and you didn't realize. Oh.
So say hi to Sensei Ray real quick.
Hello.
Hey.
That is my lovely fiance Mizu.
I come in, it's like there's no music. I'm like, is that me?
I was literally in the middle of recording though.
Yeah, these are things you usually only get live. You also got it now in a recording. These are things you usually have live. Just like, what? PP monster? What?
I love you, babe.
We'd never call you a pee-pee monster, I swear.
We would never call you a pee-pee monster. I love you.
No, like that's just the whole conversation I heard. And it was, I'm here like walking in, trying not to like jump scare you again. And I just hear fucking white as shit, pee-pee monster, and like battle music, and I'm just like, is that me?
I love you, dear. So yeah, that, and because I got known as a Kezu guy, that's probably unserious bullshit came from that. Was just watch a Kezu fight at least once, you'll completely understand. But yeah, no, these are the types of things that happen to me all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just ta-da! I get caught out of context all the damn time.
Hey, that's the best though. That really is the best.
Oh, that's going to be a hell of a cut for the blooper reel. That probably isn't even going to make it to the blooper reel. It's probably going to make it into the whole thing there.
Well, my intention is like, unless it's like something that I need to cut out because, you know, the person overshared and they're like, actually, I don't want that, you know, in, or, you know, there's like a mic issue or something like that we got to fix. Yep. I'm pretty much going to put these out unedited, you know, just like little tweak on the audio quality, stuff like that, you know, so that I'm not putting out in any different light, you know, who I'm talking to, who is, you know, because I want people to see the people that I'm interviewing, and you're my second. I've only done one other one for the channel.
Oh shit!
That's coming out this week. You're coming out in March.
Oh, I'm swiped.
Yeah. You're the second person that I talked to, and the first person was my artist.
Ah.
So you weren't my artist, so you didn't get called first.
Hey man, the artists get top billing. Trust me. Like, there's nothing more important to a content creator than their artist.
Yeah.
I stand by that 100%.
Yeah.
But no, actually, I mean, for me, that actually leads to something that I would tell almost every streamer. I've told multiple streamers this multiple times. If you're doing content creation, I am as much my authentic self as I possibly can be.
Yeah.
I put on the persona of like just a louder voice, but anything I say is stuff I would say out in public, out in real life, out anywhere.
You're just louder you.
Yeah. I tell people to, like, you better be prepared if you become a content creator, especially if you're a live streamer, to be you. Don't have a secret you.
You can smell the sus, you know, like, you know, are they really earnest? Yeah.
Even if you can't, because there's tons of people, like, basically make sure that you is able to be you on the internet.
Yeah.
And the reasoning for that is because you need to make sure that if anything goes weird, wrong, or sideways, that it's legit you, that you have been as honest as you possibly can. So if someone tries to cancel you or any other kind of stuff like that, you have documentation of who you are. I also tell everybody, if you are on Discord, I warn anybody that I'm on Discord with at any given point in time, I keep track and record of every conversation I have. If I wouldn't say it in real life, I won't say it on the internet. It's like anything that I have a logger that logs everything I type as well as everything that I receive. So like anytime there's a conversation leaked, if the Discord gets leaked, I'm clean.
Yeah.
It's like I have the receipts, here they all are.
This isn't 2001 on some Inuyasha, chat room where, half the people are RPing and being like, I'll hit you with the wind scar.
It's like if I say something about somebody, I am fully prepared for that person to find out.
Yeah.
Good or bad. If I was like, man, that dude sucks. If it comes out, I'm fully prepared for the consequences that I said that dude sucks. Like that's going to be it. And I tell everybody.
Have you ever met the guy?
Because like, if you need to be prepared for that, you do. Like if you're not, and you get caught with your pants down, you're screwed. That's how people get canceled. It's like the only way to not get canceled is to be able to own anything you say, and you better be willing to stand by anything you ever say. Be careful.
Yep. So I was thinking about you talking about the out of context thing, and how funny that can be. And it made me think about something that we've talked about before with the storytelling that happens in communities. In streaming communities, the memes that get built up over time, the culture that gets built up over time. You've had a pretty long-standing community of just things that have built up. Like, what was it? It was like Code 22 or something was the donation thon or something.
No, it's Order 33. It's
Order
a play on
33. Yeah.
It's a play on Execute Order 66.
Yes.
My chat came up with this one. And the code is break zombies. That's what it is. My chat's like, we gotta do something to like, gotta make him cry. That's it. Gotta make him cry. And they would go through and they would power donate. And like, I have autism. I have trouble processing things, and I can get overwhelmed. I've worked with that throughout the years to not get overwhelmed, but I can become emotionally overwhelmed because I don't emote well or properly, I guess would be the best way to put it.
You can get so much good coming in at one time that it's like, right? Yeah. Like, if you get like, I don't know, 15 donations in the matter of 30 minutes, like I saw the other night.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell do I do about this?
Yeah.
And people would do that, and that's where that came from. It's like, Execute Order 33. My mods are the worst about it. They're the ones that are like, the second they see somebody do something big, they start slamming in with stuff. Yep. I guess it's one of the advantages to memberships and stuff like that is I can't see the numbers behind it. Mm-hmm. So it's not it doesn't hit me as bad unless it's a lot of them all at once, which I've had a couple people do this. Like, well, we're going to do this. But that's where that came in, was they would do this in a way to try to like basically overload me, I guess. Mm-hmm. Because they want to show support, and I don't know how to handle it. I don't. Yeah. So that's where that came from. We have weird stuff like that. We have the catchphrase. I'm not a family friendly streamer. I'm not kid friendly. So I used to have this whole long spiel of, we here at ZombiesGoNomb, we're not classified as family friendly, and our content's not meant for young viewers, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And one day on stream, while saying all that, one of my friends had said that for me, and I whip around and it's like, yeah, we say shit like poopy. And like that just stuck with the entire audience. It's like,
That's
yeah.
like,
It's like poopy's the bad word. We say shit like poopy.
Is that the most recalled quote on your?
It is.
On your stream
It is
bot?
the absolute most recalled thing on my entire chat bot, on my entire on Nightbot. That's the one that like gets called forth the most. Is we say shit like poopy. Because like that stuck with the entire audience. So it's like we're not family friendly. And that's how they prove it. That's how they prove it immediately. Is we say shit like poopy.
There it is.
Mods do it. Viewers do it. I think it's exclamation point like 23. Like just bam.
It should be number one.
They all have it memorized. We've built up lots of weird lore throughout the channel. Like the channel actually has like a story to it. That I've written throughout the years that I need to eventually post out to everybody, but like I've trickled it out to the audience over the years because I have my little characters, like my little PNG character that I had drawn up by an artist known as Jerbear. There are 4 characters in this loop. It's the chibi version of me. There's Ivan, who's my scientist character, which is for all my lore building stuff. There's Haunt for all my horror-based stuff, and then there is the walking, talking SCP that is Ashford the cat.
There you go. And we'll probably have it up on screen so people can see what you're talking about here.
Gotcha. So they all have a story behind them, and they all interconnect of where they come from and who they are in correlation to me.
Right.
And the audience loves to hear about them and their stories, and they want to know more, and they've also helped shape how their stories play out. Ashford probably being the absolute most fleshed out one, and he was the one that was purely by accident.
There you go.
Having autism, I suffer from echolalia, which means I will repeat sounds that I hear.
Yes.
And the one that was the worst for the longest time, because I live in a house full of cats, is a meowing sound. That would
the meow.
Yep, it still happens a lot.
Meow meow. I can't do it as well. There it is.
So it comes out a lot by accident, and it used to come out a lot.
Yeah.
And my doc used to think I had Tourette's. And that's where that was coming from, because like I don't register that I'm doing it. We found out I don't. They found out that was echolalia and tied it in with my autism and my ADHD. But I was ashamed of it. I hated it because it would come out at the worst times. And I play horror games, which made it come out way more.
Yeah.
So I started streaming for a little bit when I knew I was going to get to a point where it's going to be worse than normal. I would break out a cat VTuber. And I would just play as cat. This way, when it happened, I was known for voice acting my characters anyway. They just thought that was part of the gig. They just thought that was part of the bit. And he took off. Like Ashford, like has his own like little fandom in my community, and people love to see him come back anytime that he does. And so he now has an entire thing of lore, and he's where the other 3 characters branched off from. They all branch off from him. And it just kind of took off. The community just ran with it, and the more lore that gets dropped, the more they run with it. They have fan art. They all have fan art.
It's just fascinating.
that's how I met my artist. My artist originally was doing fan art of me, and they're where the other 3 characters got their first actual physical forms from. Was they started doing fan art for the weird shit that kept happening. And I was like, I want to pay you for this. I want to use this. Can we do this? And he was like, yeah, we can do that. And I was like, I was insanely happy about that. You don't understand.
Yeah, because you're definitely the type that's like, you want to foster that creative spark in other people too. You want to reward people for their creativity and everything. We've talked about that before, of like, we want to give back as much as we can.
Exactly.
But both you and I, when I was making money on YouTube and all that, I'd have this guilt of like, oh my god, I've got somebody else's money, even though I earned it through performance, right?
Yep.
In my head, it's like, I've got somebody else's money and I got to do something responsible with it.
Yep.
I got to turn it into happiness for them.
I've had so many times where I've had people, viewers as well as fellow content creators, that would get on to me, not only for sitting there saying like I don't feel like I deserve it, or I feel like this could probably go towards something else, but I also wind up I tell people where every dollar that's made here goes.
Yeah.
I tell them like, this has paid bills, this has gone towards this bought this game for y'all, this was put towards art for this, so on and so forth. I've been very transparent with everything I make.
And that's a level of transparency you totally don't have to do, but it keeps you in trouble for one.
I literally had somebody come to me, it's like, this is your job. You made the money. Yeah. You can spend the money on whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Unless it was told to be done for something else. Like if you advertise it's going towards something else, it better go towards that. Right. But if it's just you got donated like $50, like that's your $50. You can have your $50. And like I literally got because I was going through it one day. He's like, okay, so this paid for all these bills and so on and so forth. And I'm thanking everybody, and so on and so forth. And he's like, when you used to work retail, when you had a retail job, you never told your boss what your paycheck was going towards,
or the customers.
You don't have to tell them that. You do not have to tell them where your money goes. I was like, I sat there and I thought about that, and I was like, yeah. You're right.
Do it anyway.
But I'm going to do it anyway. It's like, this is different because like I want people to know that their money's going towards a good place. Anything they donate is an investment in their future entertainment. That's what that is.
Yeah.
I actually got that quote from a viewer. I got that quote from a viewer. It's like, this is an investment in my future entertainment. I was like, I need to remember that line. That makes me feel a little bit better about some of this stuff. But yeah, everything, like I would feel awful about every time I got donated. That's another why the whole Plan 33 thing came into being, was I would feel atrocious about people donating to me. I was like, I can't feel this way because this is literally how I keep doing this. This is how I get to keep doing the job. If I don't make money, then I can't do this. I need to not feel as bad about this, but I still, like, every time I get $5, and that's still $5 is still a big deal. I've had huge amounts donated to me. I've had a night where I made like $2,000, which is a shock to me that ever happened. But I still freak out over $5. I'm still screaming at people in the chat to like put hearts in chat. I got rated by somebody who was huge not that long ago, and one of their viewers was like, man, you don't need to like overact this or da da da. It's like, that's not overacting. I'm excited. It's like, you don't need to like overreact to every donation you get and da da. It's like, you don't need to do that. It's like, I'm not overreacting. That dude donated me $5. That dude had $5 in his pocket and it's now in my pocket. He didn't have to give me that. He could have just kept that $5. That $5 is food to me. That's gas money to me. That's functioning to me. So I need that person to know how much I appreciate that, because they did not have to do that. They may never do that again, and that's fine. But they did it then. That was $5 that is now mine.
And it keeps you grounded too. Yeah, it keeps you from taking things as for granted.
Yeah.
So I've had one consistent supporter for my stories and now my podcast, because it kind of evolved over time. Fulfill Your Destiny. I'm gonna name call him because I'm gonna call him out anyway.
I love Destiny. Destiny is one of the man. He is like the backbone of so many communities. Like that dude is just like he's just like, for me, he's a pillar of positivity. Like he shows up. Like, I I could be having a slow day where like I'm just sitting here and like you know how it happens. Like you don't want to have those moments where it's kind of quiet, where you yourself are kind of quiet or too focused or this, that, and the other.
Yep.
But I'll have them like that. Destiny shows up. We're not in that mode anymore.
No.
I'm just excited that he's there. I'm like, because he adds so much to the conversation. He loves to talk. And if he has any kind of knowledge on the subject, you're going to learn today. And I fucking love that. You don't understand.
You know what's kind of amazing, and I've never talked to him about this, but I noticed that when I was streaming, he had this kind of uncanny ability to get low propensity talkers to actually talk and be like, hey, what's going on? And you know, it might have just been, you know,
he just has that aura about him,
or
man.
something like that. But he has this amazing ability to just get people chatting. You know, it's awesome.
I mean, he gets me talking whenever I'm quiet. So yeah, it's like I could be having one of the worst days ever, and he'll come in and I'm hyped and excited. I have several viewers that are like that too. It's like that's something people underestimate a lot, is that we do this to make everybody else happy. But there are so many days where y'all just show up and y'all just say, "Hey, how's it going?" And like my day goes from like, well, it was kind of just shit to, well, I'm having a good time now.
Yep. No,
Destiny's a great example of that.
When I was streaming, there were so many streams where like it's 2 or 3 in the morning and it's just me, Destiny, and maybe a mod. Yeah, and we're just trying to finish something desperately. You know? Yep. He's like, "Go for it, man! You got this.
You got this." I have quite a few peeps like that. Destiny's been one of those peeps for me. Mm-hmm. There's a small shout out, but they're also content creators as well. That would be Dude and Kamikaze Mizume, who goes by Kami. They're a budding live streamer. They actually just went live a little while ago.
Oh, nice.
They've been a mod for me for a very long time. They're also like they show up and they start talking, and like my day gets better. My ability to talk gets better.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, it's just the vibe they bring when they show up. Like they are definitely a heavy pillar of this community, because like when they show up, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like when you join a community like that, you can wind up being far bigger part of the community than you will ever understand, because of how not only you help the content creator, but you also help your fellow viewers there. Whether you're a moderator or you're just a viewer, whether you're someone who donates or someone who never donates but you talk all the time, but the one that gets underestimated a lot, and this cannot be understated, this cannot be stated enough. The one that gets overlooked a lot, especially for live streamers, is the person who lurks, the person who never chats. I have viewers. I had one viewer that literally, they may say one word every like 4 weeks, but they are there.
It might be sorry for lurking, or
it's just hi. It's just hi. But they lurk all the time. They're at every live stream without fail. I have a couple people like that. Those are your biggest supporters. The ones that are there, whether they talk or not, doesn't matter. They're just there to see you. Those are the absolute biggest people. Like, you have a lot of live streamers get really pissy about lurkers. Yeah, I want people to talk to me. I do, because it makes talking easier. Don't get me wrong. Yes, you need people to talk so you can keep talking. But at the same time, having someone there, period, watching you, supporting you, being a viewer for you, that's huge. Never underestimate that. You better treat the lurkers like they're gold. You better give that person a cookie. You better think you better think the sun shines out their ass, because for some reason they're there and they don't have to be.
You know, not everybody can, because, you know, maybe they're at work, or, you know, something like that. Maybe they're driving,
or they have anxiety and they just don't talk well. I'm the worst about lurking in chat. I lurked in your chat all the damn time. You didn't know I was there half the time I was there. because I don't
your presence though.
I have severe dyslexia, and it's
Yep.
really hard for me to type.
Mm-hmm.
It's I type so slow that like I barely show up in the conversation on time. It's
Mm-hmm.
like I'll send a response to something you said 5 minutes ago because it took me that long to type it out and make sure it was legible.
Yep.
Like, so like I lurk. That's what I do. So like I get it. I definitely get it. It's like I am the ultimate lurk. So like don't underestimate your lurkers. They are your biggest supporters. You just don't know it.
And I think, you know, from my personal analytics, when I was streaming, maybe 10 to 20% of the viewership of a particular stream, depending on how many viewers you have, will like actually contribute to chat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a problem with lurkers, you have a problem with like 80% of your viewership.
Yep.
You know, like, and you know, it may not be the same for every channel, but
yeah, I know.
a lot of viewership just doesn't want to say anything. They can't say anything. They're doing something else, you know, like
listen to the background. We're doing homework or doing work.
yeah. Maybe they're not there to talk. Maybe they just want to hear you talk.
Yep.
And I get that, you know.
Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of people like that. I completely understand that.
You know, I look at, you know, of course I'm doing something very different now, recorded videos. If you're watching right now, you know, you're watching a recorded video, surprise. You know, when I look at analytics numbers for that, it's like, oh man, 20 people watched that and nobody commented. Do I get upset about that? No. 20 people watched it. Maybe somebody liked it. Maybe somebody enjoyed it. Maybe somebody was like, well, that was
don't forget
stupid.
to hit the like button. Hit
Yeah.
the like button for Sensei Rain. Do that. Do that. Hit that button. Hit that button.
You know,
punch that button. Abuse that button.
yeah. and like in the writing community, you see so many authors that get bent out of shape. They're like, oh man, 15 people bought my book today and nobody left a review. Like, fucking
let them read it.
15 people bought your book, dude. Like,
it's like, be excited. That's a good thing.
some people are lucky to have one person buy their book since it launched, man.
Yep.
Like, come on.
And then you get the ones that like no one comments on this, and they finally get someone who comments, and they don't hate comment or anything like that, but they comment like genuine like criticism, and they can't handle that.
Yeah,
and they lose
or it's
stuff
lukewarm, and they just flip out. And they're like,
Which I may not be the best at taking criticism because it kind of depends on the criticism. Like if it's actual legitimate criticism, like, yo, hey man, it's like I didn't particularly like this game you played, or maybe. Or maybe they're like, yo man, maybe you're a little too overly animated. I get that. Sometimes I tone that
I can't
back.
take the happy.
Yeah. or
Power Rangers, ugh.
Power Rangers, you'll see. Like if it's an actual like criticism, if it's like, yo, hey man, like your lighting was bad during this, or hey, your mic peaked out during this, or this, that, and the other, or maybe your joke didn't land on this. Like if my jokes don't land and you tell me about it, I'll be sad about it, but I'm taking notes. It's like that joke did not land. Okay, write that shit down. Remember that for later. It's like either try to do it with a different punchline or different delivery, or just scrap that joke and go a different direction. You know, stuff like that. Like a lot of people hear that and they're like, well, I think I'm funny. I'm like, oh no, we need to note that. And if I get more than one comment about that, we're definitely noting that. You know, that kind of thing where it's like you evolve through the criticism you get. Now there are lots of times where you'll get criticism which is like, you're fat. It's like, hey, you're a fuck nugget. Good for you. It's like,
thanks for noticing.
It's like I've had people get on to me for not being able to take criticism, but the criticism, like, I take criticism, and I take criticism usually fairly well. But I've had people say, you usually don't know how to take criticism. No, you called me ugly today. That's not criticism. That's being a dick. Yeah, I don't gotta take being called a dildo on the internet, regardless if I am or not. Go away.
My dildo status is for me to know and you to find out.
It's like if you want to insult me, fine. Like I know I'm gonna get insulted on the internet, but it doesn't mean I gotta take it sitting down. But if you're going to, like, but if you're going to give me like legit criticism, then I'm going to take that. And a lot of people need to learn to take the actual criticism. Don't take getting insulted. Now you got to know that you're going to get insulted. You're on the internet. It's going to happen. Don't feed the trolls by like getting like hyper aggressively mad about it. Just yeet it, delete it, and be done with it. But I've had people like get on to me because like I got called fat that day and I didn't take that well. It's like, I don't need you to tell me I'm fat. I know it. I look in a mirror every day. I step on a scale. I know how fat I am. Good for you. You have eyes. Tell me something I actually don't know so I can improve upon. I'm like, I can't really improve the fact that I'm fat. I'm fat. We'll deal with that as it goes. Yeah, stuff like that. But like, you'll have a lot of people just like, okay, so like it started off strong and it got dry in the middle. And I wasn't able to complete it. That's the criticism you need to listen to. Why did it get dry in the middle? What was wrong? And they're like, oh,
the game got serious. No wonder it got dry in the middle.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those like, it was like, well, you got to know how to deal with that though.
Yeah.
It's like for me, the game got serious in the middle, so I got serious, and so the content got kind of dry there. But that's still a valid criticism. I had to sit and think, okay, well, yeah, it got serious. But I have something that I do. I have a mannerism and a way about me that I do my audience expects. So I need to, in the future, when game gets serious, do I need to make a decision now? Do I stay serious with the game? Or do I keep the funny? Because that's what I do. Like horror games get serious all the time.
Right.
They get super serious. And sometimes that can lead to rough moments for the audience. The way I deal with that is by making them laugh. If I get too serious with it, they may not laugh anymore. And they may not stick around because that's not what they're there for. Yeah. They were there for they're used to when shit gets too rough or gets too serious, that I make it funny. So like when I get it gets dry here, I need to pay attention to that moment because that's where I'm not giving them what they're expecting.
Right. I think the way that I usually handled it, and I think you do something similar, where if something got serious, you have respect for the moment, and then you have comedic payoff right after to make sure it doesn't get too heavy.
Yes.
You know?
Or I warn in advance.
Right. So it's going to be a rough night. This is going to be a hard, part of the game.
This game is going to kick you in the feels in ways you didn't imagine. Yeah. A keynote for that's actually one of my favorite games. It led to one of the absolute most serious moments on my channel. It's a beautiful game. I would tell anybody to go play this. Get your hands on it. Go play it. It's available on damn near everything now. It's called Amori.
Yeah, that one's special.
It hits so incredibly hard. And I got to the end of the game, and there's a boss fight at the end of the game. As you normally have.
Whoa! A game has a boss fight. What?
But slight spoilers. You're fighting yourself at the end of the game, or you're fighting a representation of a part of yourself at the end of the game. I'm not going to go into too much details of how you got here or why you got here, what all entails for this, but it gets incredibly dark really fast, and they are saying every awful thing that you feel that your character feels about themselves in this moment, and they are hitting you with it the entire way through. It gets harsh. And for me, where it got worse was I had felt a lot of the stuff that this character is screaming at you. And I voice acted every bit of this game. I voiced every character.
That's a tough one to voice act.
It is. And at that moment, I'm fighting with myself, literally. And it turns very dramatic, very fast. It gets very serious. I scared my audience because I'm in tears playing through this moment. But my audience knew in advance this was coming. I made
Right.
sure they knew this was coming. I made sure that there was no... It's like there were plenty of laughs throughout this game. There's plenty of funny moments. I managed to make light and fun of things wherever I could. But I let people know this was going to go rough really quickly.
Yeah. And
it
that
did.
moment deserved that gravitas. It deserved to be taken seriously.
But there were moments like that. And again, I'll tell everybody, go play that game. Go play that game. Go play that game. It's a rough. It's rough in its story, but the story is worth every bit of it. But it just make sure you're not in a super bad headspace when you play it.
And if you are, maybe have a friend.
Yeah, have a buddy,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Have a buddy, please.
Well, man, I've really enjoyed talking with you today. I know you're starting to come up on your time limit here, so
Yep.
I wanted to give you a moment to, talk about any plugs you would like to make, things that you're working on that you'd like to talk about, maybe tease, of something you've been working on, or
Okay, I got you.
on the show. Social media shout outs, all that. So I'm going to give the stage to you here.
Okay, so I've talked about this. You're probably one of the only people that knows about this hardcore. I am making a new video project. I don't do videos often. I'm very bad at doing videos, but this is the year of, excuse my language, but this is the year fuck around and find out. So I'm going to fuck around and try to find out what I can do.
Get it.
So I'm starting up video content for a project I've wanted to do for a very long time. I'm obsessed with monsters and lore with creatures, just in any game. So I'm making a new project where we are doing, where we are going through, we're going to start off with Monster Hunter, where we're going to essentially do kind of a cross between Steve Irwin and National Geographic, where we are taking creatures in video games and explaining what they are. Like, we're checking out their biology, we're checking out how they move, how they hunt, how they pretty much do everything like you would see like in a documentary show.
Yeah, as if it's candid, right? Like,
yes,
they're taking it seriously. It's not explaining the video game character, it's explaining it as if they're real. Right.
Yes, we're explaining this as a real. We're kind of treating it like a multiverse kind of situation. Because we're going to be focusing on Monster Hunter first, just because there's so many monsters to cover, and the new game's coming out, and I want to do that. I love the Monster Hunters where I got the idea for this from. But we're going to be doing this for also like horror game characters like the Necromorphs and Resident Evil creatures and stuff like this, where we're going to document these creatures from a kind of in-world perspective.
Right.
And like a scientific perspective of what they are, what their biology is, how they, what their mentality is, how they hunt things, what their behaviors are, and not like gaming behaviors of, it's going to track this pattern like religiously. No, we're going to be like, we're going to be going through like when we talk about the Necromorph, we're going to talk about how it is a parasite and how it winds up infecting its host and what it does to its host and what each one of these species do to work for the hive mind. And essentially we're treating it kind of like you do a bee documentary for the freaking Necromorphs, or like when we're talking about dragons, we're going to treat it like in Monster Hunter, we're going to treat it like kind of like Steve Irwin talking about an alligator kind of type deal. He's angry! Smack! Yeah.
Crocky, you wouldn't have ever expected the Snuffleupagus to do something like that, would you?
So that's the big project right now. I'm going to be working with fellow content creators and having fellow content creators come in and do voiceovers for characters, creatures they may know better than me. Or for
and I've written you a blank check on that. Right.
Yes, yes.
Like, whatever
we're going to have
need,
Sensei
man.
Raid involved in this one. I'm very excited for this. So we're gonna have peeps in that are going to kind of like give their perspective on the creatures and try to do and try to basically like tell people about the monsters that we all love in fiction, basically, because eventually this will branch out past video games. Where we're going to talk about the creatures and monsters in fiction. We'll even get into like, since I play stuff like Dead by Daylight, we'll get into like, we'll even do like serial killer style documentaries for characters like Michael Myers, Pinhead, and stuff like that. Or basically,
I don't know where the mask came from.
Do you know where the mask came from? It comes from a hardware store.
That's true.
he stole it from a hardware store, as well as a mechanic's blue jumpsuit from a hardware store. I know that one.
Make it sound like it's from Unsolved Murders. You know,
Yep.
He walked down the street and had a very large knife. How nobody saw him, we do not know.
We do not know. 6'4", 240-pound individual walking down the street with a knife and a mask, stealthily stalking his prey, and no one ever noticed him, except for one girl.
Small town conspiracy or just coincidence?
You decide. Yeah. But yeah, so that's my big project. Is we're basically doing creature documentaries for video games, and I've wanted to do this for a very, very long time. I've kind of toyed with this idea for a while, and with the new Monster Hunter dropping and everything else just falling into place just perfectly, so I think now's the time to do it. I've got 3 scripts already completely written out for it, and we're going to just kind of just going to do it. I'm just going to record it. I'm going to hope that it goes great. I'm going to hope that you guys enjoy it, and we're just going to pray for the best.
When do you think the first round would be out? Is it going to be like in the next month or so? Or?
First round's going to be late March. This is going to drop around that time frame. So awesome! I have a date aiming for the 28th. It might be a little earlier. It might be a little bit later. But I'm aiming for like the 28th of March. That's like the day I'm trying to get it out, because that's a month after. That's a month after Monster Hunter launches. So I'm going to the first monster that we actually tackle in the game is going to be the one that I'm going to try to do this with. So that's what we're going to try to start off with. I'm just hoping it works. I'm hoping my editing works enough to where it just at least is a coherent video. It's not going to be the fanciest thing, but it's going to at least look the part. It's going to at least look like a video.
Yeah. It will have visuals.
Yep. Have visuals and the occasional graphic.
Well, I'm really glad that you're able to share that. I'm sure you're going to reveal it between now and then, but if you guys didn't know about it, now you do. It's gonna be fun. He was telling me. So I asked you about doing an interview like right around New Year's.
Yep.
And you were like, "Oh, by the way, I got something I
got a thing
to ask you about." And I was like, "Blank check, whatever you want. Let's do it."
As long as the first one takes up off the ground, it's probably gonna be the next 2 after that is when I'm gonna be like, "Yo, hey, I need you for this one."
Yeah.
But I've got to make sure I have enough footage and stuff that I can send you, as well as the other people that are going to be working on these projects. Be like, okay, this is what I need. This is what I'm working on. This is the script I have, and what can we do to have you work with the script?
Yep.
But I got to make sure the first one gets off the ground. I've got to make sure like it doesn't even got to do well. The video doesn't got to do well. It's just got to get posted. As long as that happens, as long as that happens, we're going with it. I don't care. I do not care if every one of these videos I do for this fails, numbers wise. I do not care. I'm going to put them out there anyway. That's what I want to do. I just want to say that I did it because it's been a passion project I've wanted to do for a very long time. So even if no one else is proud of it, I want to be proud of it. That's what I want.
Yeah, and that's how you stay sane. Doing the YouTube game, you know that.
Oh boy, do I ever! Jesus Christ, boy, do I ever!
So obviously you're going to be playing the new Monster Hunter. Any other new games that are coming up in the near future?
I'm currently playing through Pokemon Legends Arceus because I'm hyped for Pokemon Legends AZ.
Oh, yeah.
Also because it leads into this kind of stuff, like because you're documenting creatures in that game. So for me, like that's I love that style of gameplay. So like I want to do. So AZ is going to be a thing. There's a couple of horror games I've got in the mix that I'm going to be playing through. And I'm still playing through Marvel Rivals because I just like playing Marvel Rivals, just kind of derp around.
Yeah.
And
as my kind of chill game. I like to play trading card shop simulator. I love that game.
That one's fun, man. I like
that was
one.
just silly fun. I love that game so much. So like that's pretty much what we got in the mix. I'm not going to go into which horror games I've got because I've got such a long list of horror games. I got to figure out which one's first.
Right. Yeah, the trading card game one is a lot of fun. Yeah, just like, let me take all the profits from the day before and just blow it on card packs.
Blow it on card packs.
It's what you've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Just buy out the damn store and open everything up. And then
that's the dream right there.
You make it all back and then some on singles.
Yep.
It's just crazy. All right, man. Well, this has been my awesome, amazing friend ZombiesGoNomb. We've been friends for years at this point.
Going on about 5 now.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm so happy that we had a chance to sit down, have a bit of an interview. You know, just kind of talk about what you do, you know, a little bit of storytelling, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You are 100% invited again in the future. So if you ever get some time in the near future, you want to talk about some other stuff, you want to talk about how, you know, your series is going, the monster documentary thing, you're 100% invited back. Mizu is too, you know, anybody, anything, you know.
Hell yeah.
If you haven't checked out ZombiesGoNomb already, you're doing something wrong in life. I'm going to have links in the description. So definitely check him out. If you have any questions that you'd like to direct towards him or me, put them in the comments and I'll be letting ZombiesGoNomb know about him. So, you know, he might even respond to your questions there.
Oh, I absolutely will. I'll be super excited for that.
So, definitely thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for your time. It's been really special. We haven't been able to talk for a long time like this in like 2 years, so
it's been too damn long.
So we definitely need to do this again, and
absolutely.
I'm excited to learn more about that series. That's gonna be a cool one. I'm getting choked up here apparently. All right, buddy. Thank you so much, everybody. We will see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed today's show. What did you think of the episode? Leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought, or leave a question for my new monthly Q&A episode. Before you go, please be sure to leave a like and share the show with a friend. It makes a massive difference in helping with discovery of the show, but also lets me know what you'd like to see more of. Check out the link tree below in the description to see all the different ways you can enjoy the show, or how to connect on social media and Discord. Special thanks to Fulfill Your Destiny for being a paid subscriber on Substack. Your contribution makes this show possible, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. If you would like to be featured in the show's special thanks, as well as other perks, please check out my Substack link in my link tree. Words cannot express how much I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to see what I've been working on, and I truly hope to see you again soon. Until next time, good fortune, good health, and good day.